It's the impossible dream, right? Doing music for a living. We go through this constant battle of, yes, I can do this, to, you know what, I just need to get a real job and get an income. So becoming a music artist. Let's talk about it. Hey, I'm Craig from the Dot of That Studio, and I'm talking to musicians who want to become artists. Musicians who want to have a real go at doing music for a living without all the labels and without having a ton of money. So I'm constantly working with artists in the studio who want more from their music. They want to somehow find that way to make music their living, make music their full-time income. But there just seems to be this huge gap, hey, between writing a good song and then actually getting a fan base that can sustain it. There's plenty of jobs in music that aren't being an artist. Like you can be a teacher or maybe a session musician or something like that. But to be an artist seems to be reserved for the lucky people. And what I find annoying about it is that you've got a real gift if you're a musician. Nobody else has your sound. Nobody else has your voice. Nobody else has your songs. But it seems super hard to be able to do those and do those effectively to a point where it can become more than just a hobby. I think if you wanted to be like a doctor or a teacher, you have some other desire, you have some other skill, you go to uni, you get your bit of paper, you come out and you do that for a living. If you're an artist, then yeah, you can go to music school, you can go to the Institute of Music or an academy, like I went to the JMC Academy to do audio. You can go to some school, but when you get out the end of that, you still have to work really, really hard to do that for a living, let alone to be an artist that actually writes songs, grows a fan base, and has that, you know, your job is connecting with your audience and writing songs that you love, that your audience is just wanting to hear more and more of. So what have we got to do to kind of get to that point? And is it just a matter of squashing those desires, or is it a matter of chasing after it? You just have to wait and be lucky. Or is there some work that you can put in to kind of get to that point? So I think the problem really is that we just don't know what we've got to do. We don't know what the right steps are. We feel like we're writing great songs, we're recording them, we're investing a ton of money in recording great songs, we're posting on social media all the time, we're doing all the right things, but why isn't it just taking off? Why aren't we the next big thing? Why hasn't our song gone viral when old mate's song's gone viral and it's half as good as our song? So these are all things that I'd come across every day, and I just wanted to encourage artists to chase being an artist. I want to encourage musicians to go that next level and actually become artists, and hopefully encourage you and set up a framework that we can work in to kind of build towards getting there. So does that mean everybody is going to get there if they kind of listen to what I say? Absolutely not. That's not how it works. But I wanted to at least give you some encouragement, and hopefully I can set you on the right path to do that. So the way I'm doing that is I'm starting a podcast. So what you're watching right now, what you're listening to right now, is a podcast that I'm calling From Musician to Artist, that really addresses some of the things that we can do as musicians to pursue our desire for being an artist. So I'm going to do a weekly podcast that comes out every Monday just to inspire you and encourage you. And I'm also filming these to go up on YouTube as well, if you prefer to watch rather than just to listen. They're only going to be short. They're going to be about 15 to 20 minutes. Just one topic every week that can just encourage you and maybe give you some steps, give you some ideas, give you some platforms to help become an artist, to help kind of take your music to the next level. And there's so many different ways that looks, and there's so many things that can be covered in it. And I guess so my story in that and why I've got a desire for this is there's a couple of reasons. First of all, when I was in school, I just didn't really care about school all that much. I was academic. It was fine. I passed. I think my UAI back then it was called. I think it's an ATAR now. It was like 50. So I was bang in the middle. I could do everything, but I just didn't really care about it. Didn't pursue it. English, maths, science didn't really interest me. All I wanted to do was drum in a punk band. So I had my band, and that's all I wanted to do. I just wanted to be a drummer in a band. So when I finished school, and this kind of that stupid big question of what do you want to do with your life, I felt stupid saying I just want to be in a band. I just want to be in a punk band. That's dumb. But what I did is I went to TAFE and studied music to try and figure out exactly what we're still trying to figure out now. How do you do it? How do you make it into a band? How do you make it to be an artist that is recording, that is going on tour, that is playing shows, that has a fan base? So I learned pretty quickly as a drummer studying music that you don't know anything about music when you're a drummer. That's a general statement, but you kind of get what I mean. So I had to do scales and compositions and all that things. I had to learn guitar or something that had notes on it. So I learned guitar, and I got so stuck into music ever since then. But I think that's kind of where my passion came from, because I was that person who wanted to make music into a living. And I was able to do that. It kind of pivoted once I was at learning about music. I just got so into recording. There was a module about recording. I just got fully stuck into it. Ended up going to Brisbane and studying audio engineering. But even then, a bit of paper isn't going to get you working in a recording studio. So I just recorded any band that I could for years until I kind of got to the point where I could open my own studio. And that's been running now since 2012. And I can happily and proudly say that I am making a living out of music. But it kind of really birthed this passion into me to be able to help others do that. Now that I did it, and I did it from a ton of work, I want to be able to help other people get there. And that's really my passion, and my whole reason for doing this is just being able to help. And I see it all the time. I see artists come in all the time saying, what do I do? How do I take it? What's the next step to go from musician to artist? So I want to help you do that. And I think there's 5 main topics. I think there's 5 main things that I want to look at in a bunch of different ways, but I think it all boils down to nailing these 5 things well. 1 is your branding and your vision around being an artist. 2 is jamming or playing gigs. It's actually playing music, getting in a room with other musicians or with an audience and playing music. 3 is songwriting. 4 is recording. And 5 is promotion. So we don't have teams that are promoting our music for us. We don't just write the song and someone else takes it. We actually, when we're starting out, when we're being an independent artist, it's up to us to do the promotional stuff. So I want to look at that as well. And basically, it's just my desire to help you do that. So an episode every week, a video every week, unpacking different aspects. They're all going to fit into basically these 5 categories. Next week, straight up, I'm going to explain these a little bit more. And then from then, I'm going to go into each one of those in depth. So I've got the first 6, 7 episodes worked out and written out that I'm going to record. And my desire, like I said, is just to help. My passion is just to give back. Like I said, I was a drummer 4 years just wanting to be an artist. I watch artists come in here day in, day out. We work on these great songs. We kind of workshop them. We get them to the point where they're really, really happy with them. And then on the way out the door, it's like, well, what do I do now? I've got a song. How do I become an artist? How do I get an audience? And I want to build that. I want to help you write better songs. I want to help you promote yourself better. I want to help you get more gigs. I want to help you come up with your brand and your vision. And I want to be able to help you record that music as best as you can. So that's what I'm basically doing. So we got a weekly encouragement. I reckon if you can plug into this every week, even if you don't do anything, even if you don't have songs at the moment, I listen to a bunch of podcasts. I've got a few that I'm subscribed to that I just listen to every week, and it just encourages me. I got this studio business one that I listen to, and every time I'm kind of down in the dumps about, when you just go through those moods, I can listen to that while I'm doing the dishes or something, or while I'm driving to work, and it just sparks. I just get inspired. I'm like, yes, I can do this. And that's what I hope I can do for you. So if you can listen to this every week, plug into this every week, I hope it just goes, yeah, you know what? I can do it. I'm going to jump on the piano and write that song. I'm going to jump on Instagram and do some posts. I can do this. I can do this. So that's really what I want to give to you. And I'm going to do that weekly. I'm going to give you practical steps, and I'm going to give you some professional insights, some stuff that I've seen, some success that I've seen artists that I've worked with get, especially when it comes to songwriting, promotional stuff, branding, everything. I've seen artists do it, and I've worked with artists and helped them to get there. And I want to be able to do that for you as well. So they're going to be short, 15 to 20 minute episodes, just something that's kind of consumable so that you don't have to pause it and catch up later. You should just be able to sit down and do the whole thing from start to finish, or maybe between your drive to work and home from work, you should be able to get through the episode. Hey, well, I hope you can be encouraged by this video and by this podcast series. I think it'd be awesome if you could type in the comments your biggest struggle with becoming an artist? What's the thing that you struggle with the most? Which aspect that I kind of touched on do you just think would be the most helpful to get some insight into? And I want to go through those and maybe write some episodes, do some research and help you through that specific thing. So if you could chuck that in the comments for me, that would be excellent. Go ahead and subscribe to this channel if you're interested so that you can stay up to date with the videos that will be coming out every week. If you're watching on Facebook or Instagram, I probably won't be posting these videos on here too often. I think it'll be better on YouTube. So your best bet is probably just to jump across and type in That Studio and subscribe on there. If you're a podcast listener, that's awesome. The best way you can help me with that is just to write a quick review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you're listening. That just lets that platform know that this is a podcast that people are listening to and it's worth it. And that way I can help more people with this. That would be really, really good. So the next episode, I'm going to be unpacking those 5 categories. I'm going to run through those as the life cycle of an artist. So stick around for that. And hey, in the meantime, make some music this week and we'll talk again soon.